Hey guys, welcome to another episode where I'm going to share with you another exciting new launch project. Well, I don't usually do such a series. I mean, if you scroll through my past posts, right, you don't really see much new launches being shared. I previously shared about the Chuan Park, and obviously we have clients that went for the Emerald, but I did not cover that as well. But this time around, I think there are two exciting projects that I really want to share, and they are coming up straight in January, which I think that is a critical time. But we don't get all the information yet because the developer have not produced, concrete information of any of these documents. But right now, whatever that I know, I will share with you and just my initial thoughts of what the information is presented in front of us. Without further ado, I'm going to share with you today the project named The Orie. It's right at Toa Payoh. And if you're familiar with Gem Residences, it's the plot right beside it. At Gem Residences and now the Orie, right, the closest MRT is at Braddell MRT. But before we dive into the location, maybe the unit size and all that, at this current point, there is no indicative price that came out, but I can share with you my predictive actual pricing that I think that they will launch during the actual ballot. Right now, there is a total of 777 units in 2 blocks of 40-story high building. So that is one of those projects where you are not having many blocks, but literally just a very high block. So it will be very interesting to find out how many lifts are there going to be on each block. Because from my experience from Gem Residences, no disrespect to any residents that has been staying in Gem Residences, but what I do feel is that the lift very long. It takes very long to wait for the lift. And if you do get into the lift, it's like many stops. And then once you hit down to, let's say you're from level 20 and now you go to level 1, right? Then you walk to another lift where it takes you to the car park. Yeah, so it's a separate, different lift. So there is many lifts to take. If you're in a rush, there might be another point to consider. But I believe that this developer have it thought out. But anyways, the Orie, right? The name, if you break it up, they are Japanese words, right? Orie and then IE. I don't know how to pronounce that. As you can tell from Orie, right? Is the origami, right? When you fold this paper, and then the IE means home. So origami home. Okay, so that's the meaning of this. Very similar to Chuan Park. If you realize from Chuan Park, right, close to MRT, but obviously Chuan Park is a little bit closer to MRT, but it still sells the same story, right? Close to MRT, close to good school, which is exactly the family profile. Right now, what we do know is that it's developed by a collaboration between a few big names of developers, right? So there's CDL, Fraser's Property, and Sekisui House, which they have together, make really, really awesome residential projects like Lumina Grand, Cunningham Pierce, maybe a big names like maybe Norwood Grand, which is very, very popular, Tembusu Grand, and that's for CDL. And then for Fraser's, they did Martin Place, Flamingo Valley, a little bit more atas kind of building. And obviously, Sekisui House actually did Eco One Holland Village, which we all love right now, right? The mall is really good. Seaside Residences also has been a very, very big hit as well. And a very nice office space at Wood Square. I feel that collectively, these 3 powerhouse, right, will be able to make a project potentially, I feel, better than Gem Residences. Although Gem Residences has been successful on its own scale as well. But moving forward, I think this is something that you can consider. Other information that I have not shared is maybe the site area, 169,000 plus square feet, which I think gives you a decent size. You're able to not have so many facilities that is too cramped. And most importantly is that what I do know right now, there is a basement car park. So I think for Gem Residences, I think it doesn't have the basement car park. So maybe this is maybe a plus in this area. So I think it's a very similar situation in Toa Payoh and with Chuan Park. If you catch the video in Chuan Park, is that I think the storyline in terms of the investment perspective is that there is not much supply to choose from. So obviously, Toa Payoh probably had the same issue. You have some of those older freehold projects which is further away from the MRT, but you want something that is near the MRT at Braddell MRT, right? You get very nice EA HDBs, very nice flats over there. However, they are aging already. So for those families who are eligible to buy HDB, they also will still consider that. About 2 months ago, we actually sold 99C Lorong 1 Toa Payoh. If you check out the home tour video, we actually sold that one about 1.2 mil plus. There is definitely a strong demand for the HDBs over here. But most importantly is that what happens is after the HDB start to, so-called have the least decay factor, right? Then maybe some of them, they love this area a lot and then they want to upgrade. Right. It could be maybe an elderly family who've been staying in an EA for many years, and then they want to, retire and go into a very nice condo. Then they may consider gem residences or the Orie. Could be your exit strategy as well. But in terms of like the supply, in terms of condo in this area, yeah, you're pretty much on gem residences at this current point, which is why, it makes this project very interesting to know. Moving forward, let's share a little bit more about the school. This is definitely a very family dominant area. I mean, the HDBs are large over here, right? I would think that the main buyers will be the families who want to stay in a condo, but they definitely got to be sizable, right? And this location actually attracts a family who wants to bring their kids to the 1 km radius, like CHIJ, Toa Payoh, First Toa Payoh Primary School, King Cheng, Pei Chun Public School. And then within 2 km is like Marymount Convent, Ko Chuan Presbyterian, which is a co-ed school, Catholic High, St. Andrew's Primary within the 2 km. And then for secondary school, obviously you got Betty Secondary, CHIJ Secondary, Raffles Girls, Raffles Institution. So pretty good school, and the crowd is, got to be mostly family crowd. In terms of site plan, well, I mean, you'll be pleased to know that there is a tennis court, probably a lap pool, and then also what I see from the site plan is probably a children's pool as well. That's good. But I think what's more important is that the unit mix. So that's very interesting. You look at Chuan Park, right? They don't even have a 1-bedder for sale, right? Because they know that, okay, I know exactly that my crowd is going to be a family crowd, right? So the 1-bedder probably wouldn't, suit their needs. And you can see the success of Chuan Park, right? They call it right. But right now, based on the on-ground experience that I know, is that it's safe to say there's a little bit more prime in terms of closer to the CBD, right? So actually 60% of the unit mix, right, is actually 1-bedder, 2-bedders. And then anything larger will be the 40% of this project. So basically, right, the unit mix starts from 1-bedder, 1 plus study, all the way till 3-bedder. So that will make up 60% of the unit mix. And then the remaining 40%, right, are the larger 3-bedder, 3-bedder premium, dual key, 4-bedder plus study, and 5-bedder with a private lift. From what I see so far is that developers are looking into also the crowd who wants to stay near to the city fringe, closer to CBD, and they're banking on a chance that, it will potentially attract very good tenant mix. And also my own suspicion, right, is that the price will not be like Chuan Park. Chuan Park is like selling about 2,600, 2,700 after the launch, right? And then obviously during the preview station, some of them get even lower. Right now, I think the indicative, we're not sure about this, but the indicative is about 2,300 PSF. So it's the same thing, right? Chuan Park at that time, they also tell you 2,200 plus PSF. But then 1 or 2 units is for sale. That is 2,200 plus PSF. Then the rest is like 2,550 to 2,600 plus for the better units, obviously. From my suspicion is that I believe that they will price it, most of the units, around 2,800 all the way to maybe 2,900 plus PSF. But feel free to put in a check first, and see how your ballot number is. You never know. Maybe you get a really good ballot number and then you manage to buy those 2,300 plus PSF unit. But bear in mind, it's probably going to be like the ground floor unit or second floor. And then you got to check the facing for that and everything. So I think if let's say you can get something at least a 2-bed, 2-bath, right? I think the same theory goes along with this is it will be a safer bet in terms of exiting in future. Obviously, if finances allow, you can get a 3-bedder, right? That would be the most sweet spot in terms of the investment perspective. But if you're just buying for your own family needs, right, then you really have to cater to what your family actually needs in terms of the space and size. Because the moment you stay and then you feel like, oh, it's getting too crowded, and then you have to sell before it matures, right? For example, one of the units that we are marketing soon, right, is that the family got 4 kids and then living in a penthouse unit. 2 of the bedrooms, right, they have to do double deck. And then the kids really start to, after primary 6, sec 1, sec 2, they want their own space. And also nowadays, the rooms is getting smaller and smaller. So to have a double deck is not so comfortable. Feel free to let me know in the comments section and if you have any opinions about the Orie. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to break down the floor plans, the pricing once we have more information coming in. Once again, my name is Leong, and I hope that you enjoyed this video series.